come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. I'm afraid the chairs aren't very comfortable, but that doesn't matter because in just a moment, you'll be sitting on the edge of them. For we'll be bringing you the tale of the thing inside. A strange and potent force sealed up and held in check that cried to be released. And once it was freed, brought terror and death to a whole countryside.
Sergeant, what's this all about? Has there been any trouble over at Ezra's place?
I guess you could call it trouble, Mrs. Farrar. He was killed last night.
He was what?
Killed. Murdered. His nephew went over there early this morning and found him.
Oh, but that's awful. I thought he was a dreadful man, but... Well, have you any idea who did it?
Not yet. That's why I stopped by here to find out if you'd seen or heard anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish we could help you, but... Well, how was he killed?
It was pretty bad. Whoever did it must have really hated him or else been out of his mind. Because it was done with an axe.
Our mystery drama, The Thing Inside, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Robert Newman and stars Ralph Bell and Bryna Rayburn. What is evil? Is it abstract or concrete? Does it seek us out or do we seek it? Either way, there is something in all of us that senses its presence. And when we do, most of us draw back from it in fear. But occasionally, for reasons we do not always understand, we are attracted to it and come under its spell, thus freeing it to work its destruction on an unsuspecting world. Our story begins as John and Sarah Farrar get out of their car and walk towards a rather shabby and run-down antique shop in a small New England village.
It's not much of a place.
No. Still, you never know. Paul's picked up some pretty nice things in places like this. That tavern sign, for instance.
That's true.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Do you mind if we look around?
Nope, not at all. You looking for anything in particular?
Oh, no, not really. Possibly some dishes. Do you have any white ironstone?
Nope, I'm afraid not.
It doesn't matter. Oh, that's a rather nice painting there.
A schooner? Yes, it is.
Oh, well, do you know anything about it?
Nope, except that it's American. Early 19th century.
John, look at this.
What? Oh, yes. Did you say early 19th century?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I'd say it wasn't more than 20 years old. A copy of something earlier.
Why do you say that?
Because of the condition of the canvas and the varnish.
You a dealer?
No, I'm a painter.
Oh, well, you may be right.
I'm sure I am. Oh, hello.
Oh, have you found something?
Yes. Can you tell us anything about this?
Oh, a glass paperweight?
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep. Yeah, at least I think so.
What do you think of it, Sarah?
No, it's interesting.
Yes, it is. Especially when you hold it up to the light. When you turn the ball, it moves. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Neither have I. Paul would probably know what it is.
Never mind. How much do you want for it?
$5.
What do you say, Sarah? Shall we buy it?
Oh, I don't know, John. It just looks like a glass ball to me.
Well, I like it. I like looking at it.
Yes, but $5 for something that may be nothing at all.
Well, why do you say it's nothing when I say I like it?
Well, because $5 is a lot of money. For us, anyway.
You don't have to rub it in.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. I just meant
I know
that
what you meant.
If you really want it, you can have it for $3.
I do want it. I'll take it.
John.
I said I'll take it.
Hello?
Anybody home?
Is that you, Paul?
Yes.
I'll be right down. Hi.
Hello, Sarah.
Well, what's all this?
Oh, my brother sent me a case of fruit from Florida, and I thought you and John might like some.
Oh, that's awfully nice of you, Paul.
No, not really. I'd never finish it all by myself.
Well, I still think it's very nice of you. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Where's John?
In the studio.
Oh, how is he?
Oh, about the same. Not very good.
Still not working, huh?
No. He's trying. He goes in there every day.
Well, it's happened to almost every painter at some time or another. You hit a bad period, just can't seem to do anything.
He's been...
Oh, Paul. I thought I heard your voice. How are you?
Fine, John. And you?
Okay. Where'd all this fruit come from?
Paul brought it over.
My brother sent me a whole case of it, and I thought you might like some.
Oh, it's very nice of you. I was hoping you'd stop by. There's something I wanted to show you, ask you about.
Oh, what's that?
This glass ball.
Oh, where'd you get it?
In a crummy little antique shop in Preston.
Oh, yes, I know the place.
The guy said it was a paperweight.
No, it can't be. It doesn't have a base. It isn't even flat on one side.
Well, that's what I thought. What do you think it is, then?
Hey, I have no idea. The only thing I've ever seen that's even vaguely like this are witch balls.
Witch balls?
Yeah, you sometimes find them down in Pennsylvania. They're like hex signs, supposed to keep witches away.
Oh, yes.
It's a very interesting thing. Beautiful piece of glass blowing.
Yes, isn't it? Take it over the light and look at it more closely. There's something inside it. Kind of shadow.
Oh? I don't see anything.
Well, hold it up. Turn it.
Oh, you mean that kind of a swirl?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just an air bubble or maybe an imperfection in the glass.
I don't. I think there's something inside it that the glass was blown around it. Here, give it to me.
Oh, John.
It slipped out of my hands.
Well, it didn't break. Did it crack?
No. Look at that. Dropped on the fireplace, and there's not a mark or a scratch on it.
Well, that's impossible.
Well, look at it.
Well, you're right. I've never seen anything like it. It can't be ordinary glass. I'll tell you what, John. I've got a friend who's an expert, collects paperweights. If you like, I'll take it and show it to you.
No. It's not leaving this house.
John.
Well, I just thought that...
I say it's not leaving this house.
All right, John.
I'm going back inside. I'll see you, Paul.
Yes, John. Well, he really has a thing about it, hasn't he?
Yes.
When did he get it?
Oh, just yesterday. I don't like it.
Why not?
I don't know. I just have a funny feeling about it. I have had from the first time I saw it.
John, can you hear me?
What?
You can hear me. I know you can. I knew it the first time you picked me up. Because you were the only one who could see me.
Yes.
You've got to help me. Save me.
How?
Break the ball and free me.
Break?
Yes, if you do, you won't be sorry. I'll do things for you, wonderful things.
But how can I break it? I dropped it, and it didn't even crack.
Fire and water, John. Fire and water.
I don't understand.
You will. I know you will. I know you'll help me.
Hello, Paul.
Sarah, can I come in for a few minutes?
Oh, yes, of course. Well, how are you?
A little down at the moment.
Why?
I just got some rather upsetting news. That's why I came over.
Oh, I'm sorry, Paul. Well, what's the news?
Well, it'll affect you and John more than it does anyone else.
Hmm?
You know those rumors that Ezra Tate was going to sell that 200-acre parcel of his to a developer? Well, apparently they're true.
Oh, no. But how do you know?
Well, I was just at the bank and Peterson told me.
Well, that's certainly not good, that Ezra is going to sell. But that doesn't mean that they can go ahead and build there. Well, they'd have to get the approval of the zoning board.
Have you forgotten that Harry Walker, the board chairman, is his nephew?
Yeah, but he wouldn't dare. You mean you think it really may go through?
I'm afraid so.
Oh, but that's awful. You know, we bought this place, put every cent we have into it, mostly because of the location and the view, and if the deal does go through, that will be the end of it.
I know.
And that's not all. But I wouldn't want to go on living here with a development right under our noses. And I don't think anyone else would want to either.
Well, I'm afraid you'd take a bad licking if you tried to sell the place.
Well, don't say anything about it to John until we really do know what's going to happen. He hates Ezra Tate as it is, and when he hears about this...
That's right. He has had a bit of trouble with him, hasn't he?
Oh, from the day we moved in here. First about the boundary line, and then about...
Sarah, do you... Oh. Oh. Hello. I didn't know you were here.
I was just passing by, and I thought I'd drop in.
Well, I'm glad you did. As a matter of fact, I was going to call you.
Oh, about what?
You know that glass ball I showed you yesterday?
Well, yes, of course.
If you wanted to break it, really break it, how'd you go about it?
Well, why on earth would you want to break it? It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, yes, it is. But suppose I did want to break it.
I really don't know, John.
Can you think of any way it can be done with fire and water?
Fire and water?
Yes.
Well, I suppose if you put it in a fire and got it very hot, or close to its melting point, and then dropped it into cold water, that might do it.
Of course. Thanks, Paul.
John, wait. You mean you're really going to...
Yes.
Why?
Because I've got to. I got a feeling that if I do break it, can break it.
What?
Never mind. I'll see you, Paul.
Don't look that way, Sarah. I know it doesn't make sense, but after all, there's no harm in it.
I'm not so sure about that.
Why do you say that?
I told you, I had a funny feeling about the thing from the first time I saw it.
Well, if he does break it, destroy it, that will be the end of it.
I wonder. John,
Yes.
why have you got the door locked?
I didn't realize I had. Hi.
Oh, may I come in?
Of course.
Oh, it's awfully hot in here.
I know it's the fire.
Oh, yes. Then you're really going to do it?
Yes. I've had the ball on the fire for about a half hour now. I was just about to take it out.
Darling, I don't like this.
I know you don't. What'd I do with the tongs?
Over there.
Oh, yes. Now, stand back. I'm going to take it out.
And drop it in the pail of water?
Yes. Come on now. There we are.
Darling, be careful.
I will. You ready?
Yes.
Here goes. Wow. I really think I did it.
What happened to the ball?
Well, see for yourself. It practically exploded into 100 pieces.
Oh, yes. Well, are you satisfied now?
Yes. Now, wait a minute. Look at this. This is what was inside it. Its center.
Another ball. A small black one.
Yes, but it wasn't black before.
Oh, the heat must have turned it black. Oh, what are you going to do with it?
Keep it.
Why?
Just so. Now stop looking so upset, Sarah. Things are going to be different now.
What do you mean?
Well, you'll see. Everything's going to be fine. Better than they've ever been before.
With the help of fire and water, the mysterious glass ball has been broken. And though he should know better, John Farrar seems pleased about it. For there are some things that it is best to leave alone. Was he right in thinking there was something sealed in the ball? Will it give him the things he wants? And if so, at what cost? Dusk is a time of uncertainty. And though she could not have said why, Sarah Farrar was not just uncertain, but anxious as she stood beside her husband and saw the glass ball shatter. But now she's beginning to feel that perhaps she was mistaken. For when John woke this morning, he was in better spirits than he has been for months. He went into his studio early and has been in there all day. It's evening now, almost supper time, and he still has not come out.
Yes.
Darling, it's almost 6 o'clock, and I wondered you...
It's what?
Almost 6 o'clock.
You're kidding. It can't be.
But it is.
Oh, good Lord. I had no idea. I kept thinking while I had it, I'd stay with it. Keep on going for just a little while longer.
You mean you've been working?
Have I ever?
Oh, can I look?
Of course. It's not quite finished. I want to do a little more with the background, but, what do you think?
Oh, darling, it's good. It's terribly good.
You really think so?
Oh, yes. It's the best thing you've ever done. In some ways, like summer morning, but different, stronger.
You're right. It is something like summer morning, and it is different, but, well, it would have to be, because I'm suddenly seeing everything differently. Feeling differently. It's as if I'd been handcuffed for months and I was suddenly free.
Oh, darling, I'm so glad.
Oh, 6 o'clock. No wonder I'm starving.
But didn't you have any lunch? I went out around noon.
No, I forgot about it. What's for supper?
Oh, beef stew.
Oh, good. And wine?
Well, there's that bottle we were saving for a special occasion.
I think this is it, don't you?
Oh, I certainly do. Oh, darling, why don't you wash up and... Oh, I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Sarah.
Oh, Paul, hello.
Well, you sound pretty good.
Oh, I feel that way. John finally broke through, and he's working. Working beautifully.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Oh, you don't sound so good. Is anything wrong?
I'm afraid so. I just heard that the deal on Ezra Tate's land is definitely going through. The closing's tomorrow.
Oh, no. And there's no way of stopping it?
None that I know of.
Oh, then I guess I'll have to tell John.
Tell me what?
Are you going to do it now?
Yes,
I'm sorry, Sarah.
so am I, but it can't be helped. Goodbye, Paul.
What was that all about?
Oh, some rather bad news. Darling, you know that talk that Ezra Tate was going to sell the 200 acres across the road to a developer?
Yes?
Well, apparently it's true.
What? It can't be.
I'm afraid it is, John. The closing's tomorrow.
But he can't do anything like that. It'd ruin the town. And not just the town. We couldn't go on living here with a couple of hundred ticky-tacky houses right across the road.
I know. But I'm afraid nothing can be done about it.
No? Well, we'll see about that.
John, where are you going?
To talk to him.
No, John, wait! Don't! Wait!
Ezra Tate.
Who's there? Who's there?
John Farrar.
What do you want?
I want to talk to you.
Well, you can't right now. I'm eating supper.
Oh, damn it all, Ezra. It's important.
Okay. Okay, just a second. Now, what is all this?
Is what I heard true? That you're selling the land across the road from us to a developer?
It sure is.
But you can't do that.
Says who? It's my land. I can sell it to anyone I want.
Haven't you any feeling at all for anyone else? Don't you realize what it'll do, not just to me, my place, but the whole town? It can't take another couple of hundred people.
The deal's set, and that's that.
But can't you see? Okay, how much are they offering you for it?
Why do you want to know?
Because I'll buy it from you. I'll give you a couple of thousand over their price.
What? That's really funny.
What's funny about it?
Yeah, it just is. You haven't got a dime. You owe everyone in town money, and you want to buy...
Never mind about that. I'll get it somewhere.
Yeah? Where? From your friend Paul Chandler?
What's the deal where I get it?
I'd like to know, that's all. Just because he's got a thing about your wife, comes around with fruit and groceries for you, I imagine... You keep away from me, Farrar! You think I'd let you in here without precautions? This gun's loaded. Come any closer and I'll let you have a load of birdshot.
For 2 cents...
2 cents is just about what you can afford. Now, you get out of here.
Okay. But this isn't the end of it, Ezra.
Oh, John, thank heaven you're back. I was afraid. Well, what happened?
He laughed at me.
Oh, you should have known he would. He's a dreadful old man.
He's a monster. He doesn't give a damn about anyone or anything. I'd like to see him drop dead.
John!
Well, I would. Though just dropping dead would be too good for him. I'd like to have something really terrible happen to him.
Just a second.
Good morning. Mrs. Farrar?
Yes?
My name's Osborne. Sergeant Osborne, State Police.
Oh, how do you do?
Is your husband around?
Yes, he's in his studio.
Could I talk to him for a few minutes?
Well, he's working, but I think so. Come in.
Thank you.
Yes.
John, could you come out here for a minute?
Okay. What's up?
Oh, darling, this is Sergeant Osborne of the State Police.
Oh. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning, Mr. Farrar. I'm sorry to disturb you, but I wondered if you could help us.
With what, Sergeant?
Were you home last night?
Yes, we were. We're here most nights.
What time did you get to bed?
Fairly early. About 10.
Yes, that's right.
And did you get up for any reason, or did you sleep right through the night?
No, we slept straight through. At least I did. What?
I was hoping that maybe you'd gotten up. That you could tell me if you heard or saw anything unusual. A car going up the road to Ezra Tate's place, for instance.
Well, I didn't. Did you, Sarah?
No. We'd had a big day, and I slept like a log.
You know Tate, don't you?
Yeah, we sure do.
I take it you don't like him very much.
Well, that's the understatement of the year. We've had nothing but trouble with him since we moved up here.
Sergeant, what's this all about? Has there been any trouble at his place?
I guess you could call it trouble. He was killed last night.
He was what?
Killed. Murdered. His nephew went over there early this morning and found him.
Oh, but that's awful. I thought he was a dreadful man, but... Have you any idea who did it?
Not yet. That's why I stopped by here to find out if you'd seen or heard anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish we could help you, but... Well, how was he killed?
It was pretty bad. Whoever did it must have really hated him or else been out of his mind. Because it was done with an axe.
No, that's not a nice way to kill someone, not at all. And whoever or whatever did it didn't waste very much time. For it was only last night that John Farrar said, "I'd like to see something really terrible happen to him." And what did happen was horrible enough to shock even him. The question is, was it a coincidence, or is there more to it than that? Could it have something to do with the shattering of the glass ball? There is a finality to death. Even the death of the unloved and unmourned, that we all find sobering, for it reminds us of our own mortality. It's late afternoon now, and Sarah Farrar is in the kitchen of the old farmhouse when a car drives up, stops outside. She goes to the door, opens it.
Oh. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Sarah. How are you?
Well, I've been better.
I gather you heard the news then.
About Ezra? Yes.
Who'd you hear it from?
The state police. One of them stopped by this morning. He wanted to know whether John or I had heard or seen anything last night.
And had you?
No. We were both pretty tired. John had been working like a maniac all day, and we slept right through.
I see. How's John?
Well, of course he's upset. It's a scary thing when something like that happens so close by, and you don't know who did it or why. But he'll get over it.
I hope so. I've been worried about him.
Why?
Well, he certainly wasn't in very good shape the other day. That whole involvement of his with that glass ball.
Oh, that. I was pretty worried about that myself, but, well, once he broke it and snapped his painting block, it started working.
Well, he really feels there was some connection there.
Apparently.
Well, as long as he's working. I take it he still is.
Oh, yes. Yes, he finished one painting. He's already started on another.
Oh, good. The reason I stopped by was because I wanted to find out if the two of you were free Friday night.
Oh, yes, we are.
Then would you come over for dinner? Benson of the Benson Gallery is coming up from New York. And if John is working again, I thought he ought to meet him.
Oh, Paul. You really are a very good friend.
Oh, come on, Sarah. Now, you know how I feel about you. Both of you. You've had a pretty rough time since you moved up here, and if I've done anything to help...
Oh, Paul, hello.
Hi.
I didn't hear you cry. You been here long?
No, just a few minutes.
Oh, Paul stopped by to invite us over for dinner Friday night. Benson of the Benson Gallery is going to be there.
Oh, that's nice. What do you think of our big local news?
Ezra Tate's death? That's pretty shocking.
Yes, it is. On the other hand, it did take care of a pretty serious problem for us.
Oh, what do you mean?
Well, now that he's gone, that's the end of that housing development.
I'm afraid it isn't, John.
Well, why not?
His nephew is his only living relative. He'll inherit everything Ezra had, including his land, and he's already telling people he intends to go through with the deal.
What? Well, he can't do that. He's head of the town zoning board.
Yes, he is, but he was willing to push the thing through when it meant money in his uncle's pocket. Don't you think he'll be even more anxious to do it when it means money in his own?
But that's even worse.
Well, a little more direct and obvious, but no worse.
And nothing can be done about it?
I'm afraid not. The zoning board is his baby. Does just what he says.
Wow. It would serve him right if the same thing happened to him that happened to Ezra.
John, that's a terrible thing to say.
Is it? I don't like violence any more than you do, Sarah, but when a man is willing to destroy a whole community out of sheer greed, I say the world's better off without him.
John? John? Oh, You are in here.
Oh, yes, of course I am. Why?
Well, I couldn't imagine what had happened to you. You said you were going into work for just a half hour or
That's
so.
right. What time is it?
It's almost 11.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
I must have fallen asleep again. I worked for a while and started feeling tired and sat down here.
Well, you've really been at it these last few days.
I guess I have.
John, why are you keeping this thing here?
What thing?
This black thing that was in the center of the glass bowl.
Well, I told you I was going to keep it.
But why?
Because I like it. I like looking at it.
What? Was that what you were doing before you fell asleep?
Yes.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't. I wish you'd get rid of it.
Oh, don't be silly, Sarah. The day I found the ball, or rather the day I broke it open, was one of the most important days of my life. Hasn't everything been different since then?
Well, if you mean you've been working well, yes, but I...
But what?
Oh, never mind. Are you coming up to bed now?
I guess so. Just let me clean my brushes and put them away. Oh, who on earth is that?
I have no idea. I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Sarah. Did I wake you?
No, Paul. I was upstairs reading. I just came down to see what was keeping John.
Is he there with you?
Oh, he's in the studio. Why?
Well, I wasn't sure whether I should call or not, but I finally decided I would. Sarah, I've got some more news that's just as shocking as the last. Harry Walker was killed tonight.
What? Where? And how?
In his home. His wife was out, came back, and found him dead in the kitchen.
Oh, no. And they don't know who did it?
Not any more than they do who killed Ezra.
Hi.
Oh, good morning, darling. I couldn't decide whether to wake you or let you sleep.
Oh, I haven't been asleep for some time. I'm just lying there thinking.
I know, but I thought you might doze off. You didn't sleep much last night.
No.
Well, how about some breakfast?
I don't want any.
John, you should eat something.
I can't. I feel awful.
Because of what you said when Paul was here about how Harry Walker deserved to die too?
Partly.
Well, you shouldn't. All right, it was a horrible thing to say, but you were angry, upset.
Yes, I was, but don't you realize that the same thing happened before with Ezra? I said I hoped something terrible would happen to him, and it did.
Yes, it did, but we often say things we don't really mean.
But I did mean it. I meant it both times. That's what makes it so frightening.
Why frightening? Look, you don't think that just saying it had anything to do with their deaths, do you?
Yes, I do.
John!
Well, I do. Do you remember what I told you about the glass ball?
That there was something in it?
Yes. What if there was? And what if, when I released it, it began doing things for me in return?
Oh, John, that's ridiculous. It was just a glass ball.
Was it? I told you that I had to break it, that it was very important. And it was right after I did that I started working again.
Yeah, but that could have happened anyway.
Maybe. But then twice after that, when I said I hoped something would happen to someone, it did.
That was just a coincidence.
When the same thing happens twice in the same way, it's not a coincidence. But that's not the worst of it. What if the same thing happens still again?
Oh, John. John, that's insane. Things don't happen just because we want them to. There's no connection between what happened to either Ezra or Harry Walker. And even if there were, how could the same thing happen again? You don't feel the same way about anyone else.
Don't I?
Who?
You've no idea?
No. We don't know that many people up here. And you don't mean Paul?
Yes. Good old Paul. who's always doing things for us. Only it hasn't been for us. It's been for you. He's in love with you, isn't he?
Oh, John. John, this is terrible. I've been concerned about you, worried about you for some time, but I never realized you really are sick.
Are you saying it's not true?
Of course it's not true. He's just a friend, a good friend.
I wish I could believe you.
Meaning you don't?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
But there's nothing to think about. I tell you, John, where are you going?
Out.
John, wait a minute. You can't. John!
Hello?
Oh, Paul, it's me again. Any sign of him?
No, Sarah.
But it's been over 2 hours.
Well, you said he didn't take the car. If he walked, it would take him some time to get over here.
Not this long, Paul. I'm scared. I told you what he said.
I know, but I don't think there's anything to be concerned about. The longer he has to think about, the more chance there is that he'll realize it's ridiculous.
But suppose it's just the opposite. Suppose
Now, don't do that, Sarah. I'm not worried. I hope he does come here. I told you there's something I want to tell him.
What?
I don't want to go into it now, but I think it may make a difference. Help him.
All right. But if he does come to your place, will you call me? Let me know.
Of course, Sarah.
Thank you, Paul.
A friend, she said. Just a good friend. Can I believe her? He's been there all the time, whenever we needed him. No, not just when we needed him. Whenever he could do anything to help. Why? There's only one way to find out.
Hello, John. I've been expecting you.
Have you?
Yes, Sarah called. Twice, as a matter of fact, and said you might be coming over here. Come on in.
Thanks.
Can I get you something? Some coffee or a drink?
No.
Well, sit down. There's something I want to tell you.
About you and Sarah?
What? What could I tell you about that?
How you feel about it?
I feel the same way about her that I do about you. I like you both very much. What I wanted to talk to you about was that glass ball.
What about it?
Well, I'm afraid I was the one who got you started on it, saying it was something like a Pennsylvania Dutch witch ball. Well, I was wrong. There was nothing strange or mysterious about it. It wasn't even old. It was made 7 or 8 years ago by the New England Glass Company.
That's impossible. How do you know that?
Because I called a friend of mine, the man I wanted to show it to, and he told me. The company was trying to develop a new kind of glass, practically unbreakable and impervious to heat. They did it by bonding 2 kinds of glass together, and the ball was one of their samples.
That's not true. It's a lie. You don't just want to take Sarah away from me. You want to take that away, too. The feeling that breaking it just gave me, the freedom, the sense of power. When you're not going to.
John, put down that poker.
No.
John, put it down. I'm not finished yet. I'm not denying that something happened to you after you bought it, but I think I can explain that, too. Now, look, when you brought it home, you used to sit and stare into it, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, don't you see what could have happened? When you stare into something clear or shiny, you can hypnotize yourself. But in your case, the self-hypnosis took a special form. You started identifying with it. And when you finally broke it, you released something. Not in the ball, but in yourself.
Released what? Lies? Everything you've been saying has been a lie?
It hasn't, John. It's been the truth, John. Keep away from me.
No, I came over here to find something out, and I have. You're no friend of mine. You never were. Who's that?
I don't know.
Well, don't open the door.
John, now stop that. Whoever it is must know we're here. I've got to.
Paul, I'm warning you.
Mr. Chandler?
Yes?
I'm Osborne, State Police. Is Mr. Farrar... Oh, yes, I see he is. Good morning, Mr. Farrar. Your wife said she thought you might be here.
My wife?
Yes, we stopped by at your place first. Mr. Farrar, would you come with me?
Where?
To headquarters. We'd like to talk to you.
About what?
Several things, but mostly about where you were last night about 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock? But that was...
That was what?
About when Harry Walker was murdered.
How do you know that?
Because Paul called us shortly after that and told us. You're all against me. Not just my wife and Paul, but everyone. Plotting against me.
No one's against you, Mr. Farrar, and we're certainly not plotting against you. We just want to talk to you and...
No!
Farrar, stop! Come back here, Farrar!
Aren't you going after him?
Oh, we'll catch up to him. I have another car and 2 more men out on the road there, just around the curve.
Why did you want to talk to him?
Well, someone saw him leaving Harry Walker's house last night, shortly before Mrs. Walker came home.
Oh.
We just got a general description. Weren't sure who it was at first, but... Farrar, look out! That truck!
Oh, good Lord.
Seek, and you shall find. John Farrar came to his friend's house seeking what? The truth, he tried to tell himself. But the truth was exactly what he did not want to hear. Not when it stripped away his illusions and did not confirm his jealous imaginings. And so he found what we find so often when we reject the truth and everything else of value: death. Now we see through a glass darkly, says the Bible. That was what John Farrar was doing, seeing something in the strange glass ball that wasn't there. But he wasn't completely wrong. At least it wasn't all imaginary. For as his friend Paul said, there was a thing inside. Not inside the glass ball, but inside John himself, that never should have been tampered with. Our cast included Ralph Bell, Bryna Rayburn, Bob Caliban, and Leon Janney. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Was furnished by the CBS Radio Network.
The CBS Radio Mystery Theater presents... Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall, bidding you welcome to the sound of suspense. Welcome to the fear you can hear. Welcome to the world of mystery. This is a tale of young love. The love of a charming young man for a charming young girl. It is also the story of a mother's love for her child. As you can see, this story is positively dripping with love. But don't be dismayed, because love, like a door, has two sides. And when the other side is hatred, it can drip with venom and gore.
You're a liar, Mr. Snowden. Don't you think I know what you are?
You're wrong, Mrs. Daniels. I love your daughter.
Why?
Because I do, that's all. You can't explain something like that.
Listen to me, young man. Even her own father couldn't bear to look at Bonnie's face. That's why he left her so much money, because he felt guilty for what he felt for his own poor, homely daughter.
Mrs. Daniels, listen to me.
You're a liar, and a thief.
Our mystery drama, The Locked Room, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Henry Slessor and stars Jack Grimes and Corinne Orr. It is sponsored in part by new sugar-free Diet 7-Up and by the Kellogg Company, makers of Kellogg's Special K cereal. I'll be back shortly with Act 1.
Oh, somebody's been drinking my sugar-free Diet 7-Up, and it's all gone.
Oh, actually, I saved a little.
Oh, a bear!
Hiya, Goldie. What's brewing?
That's Miss Goldilocks to you.
Oh, come on, kid. You mean you don't remember me? The cottage, the 3 chairs, the porridge?
Baby bear!
In the fur. Been a long time, Goldie.
But baby bear...
Just call me BB.
You drank all the sugar-free Diet 7-Up, and I have to conduct another diet drink taste test today.
Well, yeah, I saw the sign on the door, a professional taste tester, huh?
But how can I conduct my taste test now?
Why bother? I tried those other diet drinks, too. You'll notice there's still plenty of them around. Why not ask me?
Well, okay, BB. Tell me, why did you drink all the sugar-free Diet 7-Up?
I like the taste. Light, fresh, natural. Sugar-free Diet 7-Up is definitely unbearably delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's always something, isn't it? You just about get over paying for the holidays, and April 15th is staring you in the face again. Well, Don was griping about doing her taxes. What else is new? And I remembered hearing that CIT has an income tax service. So I said, look, honey, unless you enjoy torturing yourself, why don't you let CIT do our taxes? Well, I guess I caught him at a weak moment, because that's just what he did. You know, he came home all smiles, said they were fast, computerized, had a $5 minimum charge, and saved him a lot of time and aggravation. And if he needed extra cash, he could have applied for a unilone right there at CIT. Don said the CIT man was so nice, it was almost a pleasure doing the taxes. Almost. CIT makes money happen. We really do. And they make doing taxes almost a pleasure.
We're on a lonely highway that winds its way into the hilly regions upstate. The hour is late, and the sleek white sports car whose hood ornament faces north is the only vehicle for miles around. Even the sound of its purring engine doesn't seem to disturb the quiet of the countryside. But inside the car, the sound level is something very different.
Davy, please, turn that down before I go deaf.
Oh, what's the matter? Don't you like music?
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to save my hearing.
Okay. Hey, is that any better?
Much.
Hey, how much longer is this going to take? You said it was only 30 miles or so to the house, and we must have driven 50.
We have not. You're not watching the mileage.
Listen, there are so many gadgets on this dashboard, I wouldn't even know where the speedometer is.
But you do like the car, don't you?
Like it? Hey, Bonnie, do you know what I've been used to driving all my life? Second-hand pickup trucks. That's about all our folks could afford.
I hated this car at first when Mother gave it to me. I mean, she must have thought it was what every young girl wanted on her 17th birthday. But the truth is, I was scared stiff of it.
Well, why should you be?
I don't know. Just was. It always felt like it was running away with me.
Ah, but now you're running away with it. And me.
Oh, don't put it that way. I don't feel we're running away, Davy.
Oh, of course not, kid. It was just a figure of speech.
Davy, look! We're almost there. Oh, Oh, there's the old red barn I told you about.
Hey, great. Do I make a right here?
Yeah, sharp right. And then straight up the hill until you come to the sign. Is it still there?
When was the last time you were here, anyway?
About 10 years?
You're no kidding.
Yeah, that's right. I was only 8 when we left.
Oh.
Davy, there it is. You can see the chimneys.
Oh, wow. Yeah, how many chimneys does the house have?
It seemed like hundreds. There was a fireplace in every room except the bathroom. Wait till you see it, Davy. Oh, just wait. Well, there it is. What do you think?
Now, that's what I call a real funky old house. How big is that place?
It has 4 floors and I guess about 30 or 40 rooms. I never counted them.
All those rooms and nobody living in them?
I know. It does seem like a terrible waste, doesn't it?
Oh, Bonnie, you're speaking to one-room Davy Snowden, remember? The only place I lived in my whole life with more than 1 room was the farmhouse. Yeah, well, that had 3.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't keep talking about that. I mean, you know, how poor you were.
Okay, kitten. Rich little girls get to feeling guilty when they hear stuff like that. Look, let's not sit out in the car all night, huh? Let's go look at that old haunted house.
It is not a haunted house.
You sure you got the key now?
Yeah, right here in my purse.
And the lights are working?
I told you, we rent the place every summer. We have to keep the electricity turned on.
Well, let's go then.
There's a light switch right near the door. Yeah, here it is. There.
Look at the size of this place.
I know, it's a terrible old barn of a place. That's what my father called it. When he died, well, Mother just thought it was foolish, the 2 of us living here all by ourselves.
Looks kind of run down.
I'm afraid it is. But the foundation is still solid.
Plenty of furniture. Hey, come on, show me the rest of the house, huh?
What would you like to see first?
Well, upstairs. That's where the bedrooms are, right?
Yes.
Well, that's the first thing we have to do. Decide which bedroom we want.
Oh, Davy.
Do you love me, Bonnie?
Oh, you know I do.
Say it.
I love you.
Say, I love you, Davy.
I love you, Davy.
Well, in that case, let's pick out the bedroom. How many choices do we have?
At least 10.
Oh, might take us all night. Come on. No, I don't like the look of that one. It's too gloomy.
That was my mother's room.
You mean your folks had their own room?
That's right.
Well, maybe that's how they do things when you're rich. But me, I'm just a country boy. Now, let's see about this door. Hey, this one's stuck.
No, it's locked. It's always been locked.
Well, what for?
I don't know.
Well, what's behind it? Another bedroom?
Honestly, I don't have the faintest idea. It's been locked ever since I can remember. Daddy once told me never to go near this room. Once I remember my mother talking about it, sort of nervously.
Oh, that sounds very mysterious. What do you say we break it in, huh?
Oh, Davy, no, we can't do that.
Well, gee, aren't you curious? Maybe it's full of hanging women, like in Bluebeard's castle. Or maybe that's where the family jewels are hidden.
Oh, let's leave it alone, Davy. I was always scared of that door.
Yeah, but what's it locked for? Seems to me when a door is locked, that means there's something pretty interesting behind it. Stands to reason, right?
Well, I'm sure it's just some old storeroom or something.
Bonnie, listen, there could be something valuable in there, something worth money. And since the house is yours, I mean, this is your house, isn't it? Your father left it to you, didn't he?
Yes.
Well, if there's anything valuable in there, it belongs to you.
Oh, Davy, all those promises not to talk about money.
I'm not talking about your mother's money. I'm talking about what's yours, rightfully yours.
But the house isn't really mine. Not yet. Not until I'm 21, and that's almost 4 years from now.
Now, don't be technical.
Oh, Davy.
Okay, if that's how you feel about it. We got plenty of time anyway.
Davy, remember what you said about the fire?
It's getting late, Bonnie. Don't you think we should be in bed?
Couldn't we have a fire first, please?
Sure, anything you say. We want this night to be perfect, don't we? Yeah, I guess I am a little like that. Boastful about my poor childhood. As if it's a badge of honor or something. We didn't light fires because they were cozy and romantic, only because they made us warm. They're not very warm at that. Locked rooms. Yeah, that's really something, a locked room. The only room in our place that had a lock on it was the outhouse, and even that didn't work. Hey, you asleep? Hey, kitten, wake up. It's time to go to bed. Come on, Bonnie, wake up. Hey, what's that? Pete's sake, there's a car outside. Hey, Bonnie, wake up. There's somebody coming up.
What?
We got company.
Oh, no.
Well, who is it?
Oh, Davy, it can't be. Yes. That's her car outside. You can see it through the window.
You mean it's a neighbor or something?
No, it's my mother.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I have to let her in. She knows I'm here. She saw my car outside.
Well, I'm surprised you two aren't in bed already. That was the general idea, wasn't it?
Mother, please, let me explain.
I suppose you're David Snowden.
Yes, I am, Mrs. Daniels.
I see we have no trouble recognizing each other. Bonnie, fix your clothes. They're a mess.
I was just lying on the rug in front of the fireplace.
Yes, I've heard all about you, Mr. Snowden. Thank goodness I had the sense to think of this place when Bonnie didn't show up at home.
You have it all wrong, Mother. Davy, tell her.
Mrs. Daniels.
Never mind. I understand everything. I was afraid something like this might happen as soon as Bonnie started mentioning you in her letters from school. Bonnie, get your things. We're going home.
Mrs. Daniels, listen to me.
Sorry to break up your party, young man.
We're married, Mrs. Daniels.
What did you say?
Bonnie and I were married this afternoon. I've got the license right here.
It's true, Mother. We were married in Elkton.
That can't be. You're underage.
Not in Elkton, Mother. 18 is old enough. Davy and I are married, so you can't tell us what to do.
For the love of heaven. I think I have to sit down.
Oh, well, here, Mrs. Daniels. I'll just get the sheet off this chair
Mother,
here.
Please try to understand.
I understand, Bonnie. I went through a dozen Davies when I was your age. Oh, Bonnie. Oh, my poor Bonnie.
Well, now, you don't have to feel sorry for her, Mrs. Daniels.
Don't I?
No, because I love her.
I suppose you have no money.
Mother!
Be quiet.
No, Mrs. Daniels. My family were farm people. My father's dead, my mother's alive, but I don't even know where. But you don't have to worry about that, Mrs. Daniels. I didn't marry your daughter because of money.
Didn't you?
No, I didn't. Bonnie and I talked about it. I almost didn't marry her because of that, because of what people like you would say.
You're a liar, Mr. Snowden. Don't you think I know what you are?
You're wrong, Mrs. Daniels. I love your daughter.
Why?
Because I do, that's all. You can't explain something like that.
Listen to me, young man. Even her own father couldn't bear to look at Bonnie's face. That's why he left her so much money, because he felt guilty at what he felt for his own poor, homely daughter.
Oh, Mother, don't, please.
Mrs. Daniels, listen to me.
You're a liar. A liar. And a thief.
Stop it. Stop
You've got a smooth tongue, Mr. Snowden. A handsome face and a smooth tongue. And I'm sure you've convinced my daughter that you're utterly sincere. But it's only her heart you want to steal, not her fortune.
I love Bonnie. That's all there is to it. We're married, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You're quite wrong. There's everything in the world I can do about it. I intend to have this marriage annulled immediately.
You can't do that.
You have no idea how much money can do, young man. Bonnie, I'm going home now, and I want you to come with me.
No, I
Don't
won't.
make it any worse than it is now.
I won't go with you.
You see how it is, Mrs. Daniels?
Yes. I see how it is. Very well, Bonnie. But you'll regret this. Mark my words.
Mother, I can't live without Davy. If you make us separate, I'll never forgive you.
You will, darling. Strangely enough.
I'll kill myself. Do you hear, Mother? I'll kill myself if you do this.
Now, don't talk nonsense. You think your heart will break. But it won't. A heart doesn't break. It withers. That's what I don't want you to find out. Goodbye, Bonnie.
I mean it. I'll kill myself. Oh, Davy.
As Shakespeare informed us, the course of true love never did go smooth. And perhaps the same applies to the course of untrue love. But let's not judge the sincerity of young Davy Snowden just yet. Let's wait and see what happens next to the newlyweds when we return shortly with Act Two.
And now, another story of the ball and chain, as Kellogg's Special K presents The Library.
Welcome to the public library. May I help you, sir?
Yes, I'd like to check out... Famous Laundromats of the World by Audrey Schnorbart.
Sir, excuse me, but isn't that ball and chain you're wearing just like the ones they use in the Kellogg's Special K commercial?
This ball and chain?
Yes, that one. How are you going to get rid of it?
Well, lots of good exercises, and by eating smart at every meal, starting with the Special K breakfast.
Don't you have to watch your calories?
Yes, and the Special K breakfast is less than 240 calories.
Less than 240 calories?
Right. A 1-ounce bowl of high-protein Special K, 4 ounces of skim milk, tomato juice, and coffee. It's really tasty, and it's going to help me get rid of this ball and chain. I'd say it's long overdue, get it?
Your happy ending could begin with the Special K breakfast from Kellogg's.
You're probably well aware of the advantages of a well-tuned car in helping you obtain better gas mileage. A well-tuned car can run more efficiently, more economically. If all cars were properly tuned and operating efficiently, we could save millions of gallons of gas. To help you evaluate your car's efficiency, your participating GM dealer has 2 new energy checks available. One is an economy checkup that includes an engine diagnosis along with several other inspections to see if your car is up to specs. The other is an economy tune-up to help give you a smooth running engine that performs efficiently. Making the most out of the gasoline around is one of our country's basic challenges. It's important to you and to us at General Motors. That's why we're inviting everyone to come in now for a GM energy check at a Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, or Cadillac dealer. Get together with him and get more of a run for your money.
Now let's return to the locked room. The door we're looking at right now isn't the door to the old Daniels mansion upstate. This door is reached by walking up several long flights of stairs before you can read the faded numerals 4G.
Are we there, Davy?
Yeah, honey, here we are. Hey, you're wounded pretty bad.
No, I'm all right. I warned you that I'm not very strong.
And I warned you that a 4th floor walk-up is no fun.
We don't have anywhere else to go, Davy.
Yeah, I know that, all right. Well, brace yourself. Here's the Snowden residence. I suppose I should carry you over the threshold. Well, come on in. Don't just stare at it.
It's, not at all bad, Davy. Really.
No, you don't have to say that. Don't say anything except, I love you. That's always nice to hear.
You know that I love you, Davy.
Then close the door and show me.
Oh, Davy. Davy, I'm so worried.
Yeah, I knew that my room would affect you that way.
I don't care about the room. Anywhere is all right if I'm with you. We'll get along. And then I'll have the money my father left me.
Yeah, and 3 years, if you survive that long.
I'm sure my mother won't change her mind about us. I'm sure of it. As soon as she gets to know you.
Oh, Bonnie, couldn't you tell? It was hate at first sight. She took one look at me, and it was hate kill.
Davy, do you think she can really do what she said? Get our marriage annulled?
I don't know. It was a legal marriage. I mean, you didn't need parental consent in that state.
But she's so smart about such things. She's run my father's company since he died. She has all these lawyers on her payroll.
Stop worrying about it, Bonnie.
But what if she could do it? I couldn't stand that, Davy.
Stop worrying, I said. You got one thing going for you, kitten, and that makes all the difference in the world. Your mother loves you. She wouldn't hurt you for anything.
Davy, tell me the truth. Do you think I'm homely?
I think you're beautiful.
Oh, I know that isn't true, but I'm not really repulsive, am I?
Are you kidding? Come here.
Oh, Davy. It's true about my father. I know that. He was so disappointed that I wasn't pretty.
He must have needed glasses. Who's that? Nobody even knows I'm here. Hello?
Is this Mr. David Snowden?
Yeah, that's right. Who's this?
My name is Hedinger, Mr. Snowden. I'm an attorney, Hedinger and Doles. We're on Vanderbilt Street.
Yeah, so?
One of my clients is Mrs. Harriet Daniels. I'm sure the name is familiar to you.
Yes, I've heard of her.
I was wondering if we couldn't get together to discuss a certain matter regarding her daughter, Bonnie.
You mean my wife, Bonnie?
Who is it, Davy?
Yes, that's right. I wonder if it would be convenient for you to come to my office sometime this afternoon.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Hedinger, but Mrs. Snowden and myself are a little busy at the moment.
Well, what about tomorrow, then? Would that be possible?
Is it my mother's lawyer?
Yeah, one of them anyway.
I beg your pardon?
All right, Mr. Hedinger. I'll come to your office tomorrow. Say about 10 o'clock?
That would be just fine. The address is 50 Vanderbilt. We're on the 21st floor.
I'll be there. Well, it looks like the fun is starting.
Oh, Davy.
Please sit down, Mr. Snowden. I think you know the situation as well as I do, and you've probably anticipated my first question.
Well, I'm not sure I have, unless it's, why don't I just go away and stop bothering her daughter?
It's something like that. But it would be hardly sensible to expect you to do such a thing without incentive.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Don't tell me I'm about to get an offer, a money offer.
Nobody's talking about a bribe, I assure you. There's a practical reason for such an offer. Annulment proceedings, no matter how certain we are of success, cost money. Mrs. Daniels could actually realize quite a savings if you cooperated for some flat figure, say $5,000. Not unreasonable of her.
Do me a favor, huh? You tell Mrs. Daniels that I wouldn't give up my marriage license for $1 million.
I notice you specify $1 million.
So long, Mr. Hedinger.
Please sit down.
Huh?
That wasn't all I had to tell you.
Okay. What else is there?
We can sue for annulment on a few other bases.
Such as what?
Falsification of your marriage certificate, for instance.
Falsification? What the heck are you talking about?
Your age, for instance. You're not 24, Mr. Snowden. You happen to be 30.
Well, what's so important about that, for Pete's sake?
You gave your age as 24.
Well, so what? Everybody knocks a few years off their age at some time or other. It's just business.
Let's see. Your business is freight forwarding, isn't it? You work in a three-man company at a salary of $145 a week. Surely you didn't think it was necessary to dye your hair or anything like that for the sake of executive advancement.
Look, Mr. Hedinger, first of all, I'm 29, not 30.
I'm a few days premature, I suppose. You'll be 30 next week, won't you? Happy birthday, in case I don't see you.
I just didn't want Bonnie to think I was too old for her.
Don't make everything so difficult, Mr. Snowden, because you know how it's going to end. Mrs. Daniels is the most determined woman you've ever met in your life. She scares the pants off me, I can tell you.
Oh, well, that's your problem.
If she has to spend $1 million to get Bonnie out of your clutches, she'll do it. I'll guarantee you $10,000 if you'll sign an agreement.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hedinger. No can do.
You're a stupid boy, do you know that? Sorry, I take that back. A stupid man.
So long, Mr. Hedinger. Give my best to Bonnie's mother. And tell her we're both very happy.
Oh, Davy, it's horrible. We I know we don't.
Well, it doesn't look good, that's for sure.
You should have told me the truth. You should have told me you were really 27.
But I don't know. I just didn't want you to think that I was still an undergraduate at that age.
Oh, there's got to be some way out, Davy. There has to be. If you could just talk to her.
She won't give me the chance. She's made up her mind that all I want is your lousy money.
Well, what if there wasn't any money? What if I signed away the rights to the money my father left me? That would make her believe us, wouldn't it?
Well, that's pretty drastic, kitten. I mean, that money is yours. When you come of age, you're entitled to it.
But I don't care about money, Davy.
Well, you don't now, maybe, but later, I couldn't have you making that kind of sacrifice for me. Bonnie, you probably hate me for it later.
Oh, I could never hate you. I love you so much. I think I'll love you after I'm dead. Davy? Davy, what are you thinking?
Nothing.
Davy? You don't care about the money, do you? Please talk to me.
Bonnie, I have an idea. I have a very crazy, very good idea.
About what?
Well, I wouldn't blame you for not going through with it. I'd understand.
But what is it?
You remember what you said, what you told what you told your mother up at the house about your killing yourself?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, she didn't believe you, of course. What if your mother really thought you were serious about killing yourself? Wouldn't that make her change her mind in a hurry?
Well, yeah, I suppose it would, but we could never fool her about such a thing.
No. If we were smart, we could.
No, she's smarter than both of us put together. I know her, Davy. There's just no fooling her.
Wait a minute. Wait. Don't throw it away so fast. Let's talk about it. Let's think for a minute.
But it just wouldn't work.
Yeah, but if you really did try, Bonnie, only you didn't try too hard, only enough to make it look good.
Well, how could I do that?
There's a couple of ways. Gas, for instance. We could fix up a phony gas suicide. Bonnie, don't look like that.
I'm sorry.
All right, forget it. Forget I ever said it.
No, go on.
It could be something like, sleeping pills. You've got sleeping pills, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
What, you wouldn't have to take more than 2? I mean, maybe 3. Now, that won't hurt at all, and we'd make her think you took the whole bottle. Now, don't you see how easy that'd be?
Yes, I suppose so. Oh, Davy, hold me, please.
Oh, kitten, you could write your mother a letter. You could tell her what you were planning to do, but that I don't know about it, see? You could say you were going to swallow the whole bottle of pills. But you'll actually take just a few. Then when your mother shows up here...
I'm so scared, Davy.
I promise you nothing will happen except that your mother will know that you meant it, Bonnie. About loving me so much. You do love me, don't you?
Yes, Davy. I do.
There's another famous saying about love. That it conquers all. Presumably that includes time, distance, and mothers-in-law. But will love and deception succeed together? We'll find out shortly when I return with Act 3.
Ever had a tall, frosty glass of Amplitude? Well, if your beer is Budweiser, you've had it often. Amplitude is a fancy word for the entire taste phenomenon, the total experience of flavor. Next time you take a healthy swallow of Bud, watch what happens. Think about the sensations you're experiencing. Notice how the flavor of Bud comes on nice and easy. Not too strong, not too quick, just right. Notice the clean, crisp togetherness of Bud's taste. Everything in perfect balance, with no single element jumping out at you. And there'll be no aftertaste either, no hanging on. And you'll be refreshed and ready for another glassful. Actually, Bud drinkers have been experiencing Amplitude for years, but they never phrase it that way. They just say Budweiser, and that says it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
It's
so good to see the green grass grow again. After years of being careless, now the folks seem to know it's time to pitch in. Time to pitch in. We can breathe a fresher air. There's more beauty everywhere. 'Cause more people seem to care. They're all pitching in. We've got to pitch in to clean up America. We've got to pitch in to clean up America. And if everybody keeps pitching in, we can call on America. America the beautiful once again. Oh, yeah.
How can you pitch in? Write United States Brewers Association, P.O. Box 2570, Washington, D.C.
Things seem very normal in apartment 4G, the one-room residence of the newlyweds, Bonnie and David Snowden. Music is playing on their transistor radio, a frozen dinner is thawing slowly, and Bonnie and David are hunched over the kitchen table, composing a letter. The only thing that makes this domestic scene a bit bizarre is that they are collaborating on a suicide note.
Dear Mother, I warned you what I would do if you tried to get our marriage annulled. Tonight, I'm going to take a whole bottle. Davy, do we have to have that music?
Okay. I didn't know it was bothering you.
I'm nervous enough as it is.
Okay, I said.
Dear Mother, I warned you what I would do if you tried to get our marriage annulled. Tonight, I'm going to take a whole bottle of sleeping pills. Oh, Davy, it just doesn't sound right.
It's not so bad, Bonnie. Look, maybe you better put in something about me not knowing about it. I think that's important, that your mother realizes that I had no idea you were going to try to take your life.
Well, maybe you better write it, Davy. I'm just no good at this sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess you don't have much experience writing suicide notes.
Well, I just can't help feeling it's wrong.
Wrong? What? How?
Well, you know.
No, I don't. The only thing that could be wrong about it is if it didn't work, but... Okay, if you've got cold feet, okay, we'll let your mother go through with it. We'll let that lawyer Hedinger get our marriage annulled. Is that what you want?
Well, you know it isn't.
And have you got a better idea than this? Have you?
No.
And tell me what you want to do, Bonnie. You name it.
Well, just tell me what to write in the letter.
Well, the first line is okay. Only after that, I think you should say, Davy doesn't know I'm doing this. I didn't want anyone to know so that nobody would stop me.
Wait a minute, not so fast.
Well, you don't have to put it down exactly the way I said it. Make it sound like yourself, you know.
Yeah, I'll try.
And, what else? Say something about, I'm doing this because I love Davy, because I can't live without him.
Yes.
That'll make her understand. You see, she'll realize that you might try to kill yourself again if she broke us up. And if she loves you, she won't want that to happen, Bonnie. You see?
Yes.
Hey, come on. You're getting tears all over the letter.
Oh, Davy.
Go on, Bonnie. Now sign it. That's right. That's just perfect. Now, you got the envelope?
Here.
Okay, if I get it into the mail now, she'll have it tomorrow morning. Now, she's sure to phone here as soon as she receives it.
Davy, she might even call the police.
Oh, it doesn't matter who she calls. Police, a doctor, it'll be okay. I mean, you'll really be asleep, Bonnie. You'll take just enough pills to put you into a nice, deep sleep. Understand?
Yes, I understand.
Now, I'll be right back, sweetheart. I'll just run downstairs and mail this, huh?
All right, Davy, but hurry back. I don't want to be alone. What time is it, Davy?
9:15.
Do you think Mother got the letter this morning?
Well, you never know with the post office these days. But it could happen.
Even if the letter gets there, she might not be home. She might have left the house early.
Doesn't matter, Bonnie. Sooner or later, she'll see it.
Well, I just don't think it's going to work, Davy.
There. That must be her.
Do you think it is, really?
Well, there's no doubt about it. I don't know anybody who'd call me this early in the morning.
Well, how about the people at your office?
No. I'm away on a 2-week honeymoon, remember? They don't even know I'm in town.
Well, Davy, shouldn't you answer it?
No, kitten, no. Don't you understand? She's got to get worried enough to do something. And you've got something to do, too.
You mean take those pills?
That's right, Bonnie. Hey, see? She stopped calling. She's probably on her way over here right now. Get the pills, Bonnie.
Yes, I have them right here. There are only 3 of them.
Okay, yeah, get you a glass of water.
All right. Davy, you're sure it'll be all right?
I'm sure, Bonnie. It takes like a dozen of these things to hurt you. You just take a couple. Yeah, no, you better make it all 3, just to make sure you're fast asleep when your mother gets here.
She's only about half an hour away.
Well, that's time enough if you take them now.
Yeah, all right.
You can trust me, Bonnie. You know that. I won't let anything happen to you.
Yeah, I know that. I know that, Davy.
Okay, now, come on, take the pills, sweetheart.
Yes.
There. That wasn't so hard, was it?
No.
Now, all you have to do is go back to bed. Go to bed and sleep.
That won't be so hard either. Even without the pills. I slept so badly last night.
Yeah, I know.
Davy?
Yes, kitten?
Please kiss me. Kiss me. Good night.
One second. Oh, Mrs. Daniels.
Where is she? Where's Bonnie?
Well, not to take it easy. She's sleeping.
Is she all right?
Well, what are you talking about? Of course she's all right. She's just asleep. She likes to sleep a little late in the morning, that's all.
Bonnie? Bonnie?
Hey, now, what do you think you're doing, Mrs. Daniels? Let her sleep, would you? She's had a bad night.
Look at her color. Look at her. Can't you see this isn't normal?
Well, she's always a little pale. So what?
Bonnie, can you hear me? It's Mother. Oh, dear God.
Hey, what's the matter with you?
You idiot. Where were you? I phoned here about an hour ago. The phone just rang and rang.
I was out. I went out to get the paper. I just got back a couple of minutes ago.
Bonnie, darling, wake up. Wake up. Oh, why didn't I call somebody? Why didn't I call a doctor?
A doctor? What for?
Here. Read this.
Well, what is it?
Where's your telephone? Where is it?
Good Lord, this letter is...
We need a doctor, you idiot. Bonnie, maybe... Oh, no.
Mrs. Daniels.
She's dead. She's dead.
Oh, she can't be. She's just sleeping, Mrs. Daniels.
She took the pills. All those pills.
There weren't that many in that bottle. Maybe she'll be okay. I'll get the doctor.
It's too late. It's too late.
Dad, I tell you. Bonnie, wake up, kitten. Wake up. It's all right. Everything is all right. Bonnie, for Pete's sake, it's all over now. You've got to wake up. Oh, she's so cold. Bonnie, wake up.
Leave her alone. Can't you leave that poor girl alone, even now?
Mrs. Daniels, I swear there weren't many pills in that bottle.
It wouldn't have taken many. Not with Bonnie's heart. It wouldn't take us... Well, it wouldn't take many.
What are you talking about?
Bonnie had rheumatic fever when she was 12. Her heart's been weak ever since.
Oh. No. Bonnie, please. Please. You've got to wake up.
Hello? Mr.
Yes, I remember you.
Sorry to disturb you. I realize that you're still in mourning, of course.
What do you want?
I was wondering if you might be able to attend a meeting at our offices at 10:30 tomorrow.
A meeting? What for?
It concerns your wife's estate.
What are you talking about? I've got nothing to do with my wife's estate, and you know it. Bonnie wasn't dead 2 weeks, and I got a letter from you telling me so.
Well, there is still something that Mrs. Daniels wishes to discuss with you. Something beyond the, shall I say, legality of the situation.
Look, if Mrs. Daniels thinks she can make some kind of trouble for me...
No. It's nothing of the kind.
Don't try to kid me. She still blames me for Bonnie's death. She'd do anything she could to hurt me.
I assure you, Mr. Snowden, it's to your advantage to attend the meeting tomorrow.
My advantage?
That's correct. Because I can promise you one thing. Mrs. Daniels wants to do the right thing.
Please come in, Mr. Snowden.
Yes. How are you, Mrs. Daniels?
I'm as well as I can be, thank you.
Yes, of course.
Don't look stricken, young man. Nobody's going to hurt you. Have a chair.
Thank you.
Well, let's get started, shall we? Mrs. Daniels, as you know, we've already informed Mr. Snowden that he has no legal claims on your daughter's estate.
Yeah, I know all about that.
But did you explain why? You see, Bonnie's inheritance from my late husband wasn't due until she reached the age of 21. Since her death, it automatically reverts to me.
I didn't expect anything, Mrs. Daniels.
Very kind of you, I'm sure. However, Mr. Snowden, the fact that you did marry Bonnie imposes a certain kind of obligation on me. Some kind of gesture regarding your welfare.
I don't understand.
Mr. Snowden, you seemed most impressed by that old house we own upstate. You recall the one I mean?
Yes, of course.
It was once valued at a great deal of money. And it's yours.
What was that?
I'm deeding you the property. It would have been Bonnie's in a few more years. I have no further use for it. You may have complete possession of the land, the house, and everything in it.
Everything? You really mean everything?
Of course. Mr. Hedinger will see to the formalities. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go.
Look, gee, Mrs. Daniels,
Please don't thank me. I can stand anything from you now except gratitude. Good day.
Well, let's take care of the details.
Mr. Hedinger, could I ask just one question?
Yes?
When Mrs. Daniels said I could have everything in that house, well, there are certain places, locked rooms and things like that. Am I entitled to all of the contents?
You're entitled to every stick in the place, Mr. Snowden. In fact, Mrs. Daniels left you this full set of keys.
Look at it. It's all mine. The whole house, mine. God knows how much it's worth. Yeah, sure, it's run down, but the furniture alone. Now, where's that light switch? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, what did Bonnie call it? A terrible old barn. Yeah, but it's all mine, sweetheart. It's Davy's barn now. Maybe it's not $1 million, but it's something. Where are the rest of those keys? A dozen keys, but one of them must open that door. Yeah, one of them will do it, so let's just get going, Davy boy. That was really something, her giving me this house. Noblesse oblige, I guess. I gotta give the lady credit. She's got class. Let's see, it wasn't this floor. No, it was the next. There's got to be a very good reason for locking up a room. There's got to be something very valuable inside. Yeah, that's the door. That's the one. Okay, now to find the key. No, not that one. This is, it's obviously too small. How about this one? No. That didn't do it. This one's too big. No, not yet. I hope it's here. The lawyer said they were all here. I'll try this one. Well, it slipped in all right, but will it turn? Wait a minute. It's stuck, but I think it's going to do it. I think it's going to work. That did it. That did it. The lock's open. All I got to do is open the door. Pretty dark in there. Shades are down. What? I see a lamp over there.
Some more sherry, Walter?
No, thank you, Mrs. Daniels.
Stop looking so grim, Walter. Sit back and relax.
Mrs. Daniels, I can't help but worry about what happened.
Worry? About that scoundrel?
You know what I mean. When that police lieutenant questioned me about Snowden's death, well, I didn't actually lie to him, but I didn't tell him the whole truth either.
You were completely honest, Walter. I'm sure you were.
No, I wasn't. You see, I'm absolutely sure you knew what you were doing when you deeded that house to him.
Of course I knew what I was doing. I was being generous.
But you knew what would happen, didn't you?
Yes, Walter, I knew. I knew there was no treasure behind that door. Only the rotten floorboards that made us shut up the room 15 years ago. I used to argue with my husband about it. I used to say that we should have the floor repaired before someone fell through to the basement. But he was a strangely miserly man sometimes. Not nearly as generous as I am. Now drink your sherry, Walter.
Well, what can you say about an 18-year-old girl who dies? Or her 30-year-old lover, for that matter? Regretfully, this love story has ended with both the lovers gone, which ought to make it twice as popular as the movie. I'll be back shortly.
Who knows how to help you solve your shopping problems? The Better Business Bureau knows.
Wednesday, 10 o'clock. I'm back at the office working on the case when my secretary brings me the mail. Thanks, kid. The usual stuff. Then I see it. It's addressed to me, resident. Inside, a fake rabbit's foot. The pitch, a $2 donation or send back the rabbit's foot. My problem, what to do about it.
I'll help you with good advice from the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, yeah? Spill it.
If you receive unordered merchandise in the mail, you are under no obligation to return it or pay for it.
Thanks, pal. You're okay.
Just another consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
David Snowden isn't the last victim you'll hear about on our Radio Mystery Theater. We intend to bring you the final dying screams of many, many more. That's a specialty of radio, of course, which explains why we give all our actors scream tests. Our cast included Carmen Matthews, Corinne Orr, Jack Grimes, and Sidney Smith. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. And now, a preview of our next tale.
I know I'm no sort of expert, but can't you talk about your work with me?
There's a reason for it, Lisa. There's a reason.
Well, what?
I told you, my nightmares, they're all visions in black and gray and slashes of red.
Well, then if you won't talk about your paintings, why not tell me about your nightmares?
You wouldn't enjoy hearing about them. Or rather, about it.
It?
I have only one nightmare. Just one. I have it virtually every night. Sometimes it follows me into the daylight. I can close my eyes, and there it is. For years, I've tried to destroy it by painting it. Not its details, just its colors. But the therapy hasn't worked.
Radio Mystery Theater was sponsored in part by Anheuser-Busch Incorporated, brewers of Budweiser. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.
Would you like a shout out? Leave a comment in the section below. Tell me who you want to shout out to, who you want to shout out from, and we'll get it up here for you. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, that way you won't miss any. We got a lot more of these. Check out our playlist. Also check out the description below, and we will see you next time.